Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at how to use the grouping method to factor when we have a number for our a value instead of 1. For either grouping or box method, we would start off and you multiply the first by the last. So our a times c. So 5x squared times negative 18, I'm going to write it as negative 90x squared. So I keep that x with it when I go to multiply. At the bottom, I'm going to put the b value. So the b value, this has a negative 1 in front of it, so it's negative 1x. And I'm thinking of two numbers that would multiply to give me the top and that would add to give me the bottom. So for negative 90, if you have troubles thinking of different factors, you can make a little list. So I have 1 and 90, I have 2 and 45, 3 and 30, 4, 5, and 18. 6, I think so. 6 can go into that times 15. And 7, 8 doesn't work, 9, 10, and then we would be starting. So those are all my factors of 90. And if I were to make one of these negative, because I need to multiply it be negative 90, so if I made like 1 negative, that's not going to equal negative 1 when I add it. So looking at these, that one won't work, this won't work. 9 and 10 could work though. If I make 10 negative, that would add up to be negative 1. So here I'm going to write 9x and negative 10x. So the reason why I put x's with these is because when we multiply x times x, that will give us the x squared. And then when we add the x's, they're like terms, so we have the x here. Okay, so when you go to do your grouping method, we're replacing the b value with these two numbers that we found here. So you're not using these two numbers at all when we go to use the grouping method. We just use them to find a replacement for our b value. So now I'm going to rewrite this as 5x squared, and then instead of negative x, I'm going to write plus 9x minus 10x minus 18. Okay, so now I have 4 terms, and now I can split this up into 2 groups. So here's my first group, and here's my second group. Okay, so just looking at the first group, we think about what the GCF is. So GCF is a number that can be divided out of both numbers. So there isn't a number 5 and 9 have in common, but they both have an x. So I'm going to take an x out from here. Okay, so what I'm going to put in these parentheses is what is left over when I divide x from both of these. So off to the side here, I'm just going to show you 5x squared, that's the same as 5x times x divided by x. These x's would cancel, so that just leaves me with 5x. Okay, looking at the next one, we have 9x, so 9x divided by x. These x's would cancel. I'm just left with 9. So to check that this is correct, x times 5x gives me what's above, x times 9 gives me what's above. Okay, now we look at the next one. We have negative 10x and negative 18. Since they're both negative, I'm going to take out a negative, and a number that could divide out of both of these would be 2. 2 can go into 10, and 2 can divide into 18 without a decimal. So now I'm going to 10 divided by 2 would give me 5, and I still have that x, and 18 divided by negative 2 will be a positive 9. So for your grouping method, your goal is to have these two to always be the same. If the signs are different in one set of parentheses, then you might need to change the sign out in front. So we have that. The final step is writing out the answer. So the numbers on the outside, x minus 2, will go in one set of parentheses. And then what's being repeated, I'm just writing once. And that would be our answer. So to check if this is correct, I'm just going to write, oh, you can't see that. So I have x minus 2 and 5x plus 9. So I'm going to just do a check. Okay, and I'm just going to multiply this out. So x times 5x is 5x squared. X times 9 is 9x. Negative 2 times 5x is minus 10x. And negative 2 times 9 is minus 18. And combine my like terms, 5x squared minus 1x minus 18. And this matches my original answer. Okay, so the goal of factoring is to get it into this form. This is our final answer for the factored form.